gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Everybody, welcome everybody back to the Spinner Rack. We got the crew here. We got Petey, we got Cal. And today we're going to talk about one of the top movies of the year. One of the top movies of the year. Hands down, Marvel has done something right. Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, naturally, I would call first and say what I think it is. But I want to let my man Cal take a shot at it.
No. We got to pass it. We got to pass it to Petey.
No, Petey.
You got to pass it to Petey.
No, I'm passing to Cal.
I'm waiting to hear what Petey has to say.
I'm waiting to hear for it too, but I want to hear you.
Okay. All right, hey.
And it's a sliding scale, remember that.
Sliding scale.
Yeah.
Everything's judged on a scale. Don't leave the review.
Yeah, it's the curve. Whatever. Hey, good film. Good, solid film. I think they nailed it in terms of their casting of Tom Holland for Spider-Man, even though he's a Brit. I'm getting tired of seeing these roles being taken over by people who aren't born here. You know, people who aren't born here, you know, we can't find any American actors.
I was wondering the same thing too.
But hey, he definitely fits the bill. I like the fact that he looks like a teenager, finally. And then maybe they could actually build on that, have 7 or 8 films. What happened?
I'm trying to leave. I can't believe you would say any of this.
What are you doing?
I can't believe you would say any of this.
No.
I was leaving.
No. Good on film. And, okay, ironic though in the casting, Michael Keaton's Vulture, good, nice menacing villain. Actually had the best scene I thought for me is the best scene I thought, again, where Marvel gets it right, is the reminder that these guys are heroes, that there's some heroism about these particular characters that the average person may not necessarily have. And we get to see that at the homecoming dance when Peter Parker is off to the races to do the right thing as opposed to dithering about it, wondering about it, or saying, hey, let me at least have some fun first. No, he's got to go and do what's right, even if it means that he's not necessarily going to get what he's looking for at the end of the day.
The girl.
Now, aside of that, you could have gotten rid of the rest of the cast, and I would have been okay with it without any problem. Okay, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, no. All the other of those, that sprinkling of character change. Look, Flash Gordon is supposed to be this tall, handsome jock who teases Peter Parker. There's no way I believe that dude is Flash Gordon, okay? Come on. What is it? Can he even look Peter Parker in the eye? And I'm supposed to believe this guy is making Peter Parker's life hard? Look, if you want to change, the complexion of the movie, fine. Give us new characters. Nobody believes that's Flash Thompson. And then that little sneak at the end, hey, call me MJ. I was like, oh, groan. Look, just give him a new girlfriend. Give him a new girlfriend, new name, and let Zendaya be the new girlfriend. Stop trying to latch on to all of the mythos, but you want to make these fundamental changes. You can't have it both ways, because here's what's going to happen. Eventually, everybody's going to realize, hey, that's not Mary Jane. This is Mary Jane, and that's who's going to be in the story after this has run its course. Because that's all you're creating. You're not creating new characters that can run along, with the story after this is over. You are you're on borrowed time when you do this type of stuff, and you say that people are replaceable. That should never be the gist of what anybody is getting from out of a film. Aside of that, thoroughly enjoyed myself. Oh, no spider sense. How the hell did you do an entire film and he doesn't have spider sense? How? But aside of that, hey, Marvel does it once again, shows you what a good film is as opposed to these mediocre films or horrible films that Warner Brothers keeps putting out, and somehow they just keep making money because people have too much money on their hands.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about that.
No, Petey.
Thank you.
If you consider that
all right.
Be gentle.
Look, I watched the film and I had a face like this most of the time. I have a baby picture that I'm going to add to show you. It's same. I was just looking up and I was just in wonder because it wasn't the Spider-Man that I grew up with. It was a Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man has some elements of like Hamlet, where Hamlet is talking to himself, struggling with what he has to do, and Peter Parker in the comics in his head by himself. He doesn't, he didn't gain friends until I think like around the 30s, like issue 36 or something like that. So it's really different. Even having the electronics, the Tony Stark stuff in his head, that was a little bit bothersome. But otherwise, it's an okay movie if you think of it like a different character, sort of like the Blue Beast is different from Hank McCoy in X-Men. So this Spider-Man is sort of different than the Peter Parker that I grew up with. So that's my first issue. So otherwise, I'm watching it. It's fun. The characters, his friends and whatnot, the group, they're sort of fun. But it plays sort of like a Patrick Dempsey movie, like the Can't Buy Me Love or the Mystic Pizza, the pizza movie, where he secretly does something. Because both of those two Patrick Dempsey movies have secret. And I like those movies, those coming-of-age movies. So it sort of plays to that. So that's where I can say I enjoyed the film. And Liz Allen, even though I kept saying that she's very hot, I really connected. They did have some elements of the character that's in the comic book in there.
Liz Allen?
Yeah, Liz Allen, because she was like, they didn't have the part where Liz Allen was unapproachable and then she slowly became approachable. They just had the part where she was just approachable.
That was the name of the film, Liz Allen or Liz Toombs? Because she was.
That's the part.
Because she was his daughter.
Yeah, that's what was I would call the deal breaker, because she's Liz Allen, and then they reveal later, the big reveal is that the Vulture is her father. So we were in the movie and we were like, my friend was like, oh, is that Liz Toombs? Is that Liz Allen? So that's where I was like, no, this is a jump for me, that whole part. But otherwise, the Vulture was fine. I liked the costume. It was a mix of, I think, of having the helmets, having some of the elements of one of the Vulture characters, like the face mask, and then having the little ruffles around there. And then I thought it would be too cumbersome, but they made it cool every time you see the wings. They made the wings work. Their movie wasn't like, oh, I'm in a closed space, I can't do it. Every time you saw the wings, it always worked. So that was solid. And what else? It was something else I was thinking. So, but then, yeah, obviously Aunt May, that was... The thing is that, like the Patrick Dempsey movies, they had to do every reveal. They had to point out, even in the behind the scenes, that Aunt May sees Peter in the outfit. And I'm just like...
Yeah.
No. I know movies work where the truth gets revealed in the movies and they don't like to carry it on for too long. But this is comic books. You don't need to have the next movie spending half of the movie saying, why would you do this, Peter? I'm worried, blah, blah. Then he doesn't need to have the costume at all if he's not hiding it from Aunt May.
And who do we have to blame for this? Who do we have to blame for this?
Who do we have to blame for this?
No, it started with the whole, we used to, secret identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what did we get? Got all these female readers who came in and said, no, they can't do that.
Lying.
He's lying. She's his
lying.
girlfriend. She's
Blah,
equal.
blah.
She's
This
his
is
partner in
all-
life.
You
He can't lie to her.
Well, the thing also in movies don't like character or elements of, the people just the filmmakers have a problem with lying in general. They make it into, like, kids in movies get mad when parents lie to them, when kids in real life lie all the time. That's all they do.
To your face.
And I'm not talking about other kids, I'm talking about me.
In the eye.
Okay, we digress. We digress.
We
So
digress, okay.
So, do you like the movie in the end one?
I would say the deal breaker was a deal breaker. Or the
Liz Allen,
and the Vulture. But after that, the action scene on the plane, that was, in going to Coney Island, that was amazing. So I was just like, I've recommended it that way, as saying, yeah, there's some things, but you're gonna enjoy the movie. You're gonna have fun in the movie.
Woohoo!
So
Crunchy Jeff.
no.
So, I gotta
It's
say,
not what I want. I was okay with the Spider Sense. Spider Sense has been overused its usefulness probably by the second year of Spider-Man.
Oh, good.
So thank goodness it's out of here. Spider-Man needs to be hit. That's what happens.
He gets hit even with the spider sense. It happens.
No.
so listen, I gotta say, guys, I liked this movie. There were some elements naturally I didn't like, but I gotta say, this is a great summer movie. You want to go into a movie, you want to sit down, you want to have some popcorn, you want to look at the film, and you want to be totally engrossed in it. And no, this film does it. Spider-Man is the Spider-Man. What's his name? Tom Holland? He is the Spider-Man. He is Peter Parker. You know, he's the right Spider-Man for this generation. I like Andrew
I don't
Garfield.
know.
I like Tobey
no,
Maguire.
no, let's
and
go.
I think
Liking
this guy
the film
is
and
just
saying
as
the
good.
right Spider-Man for this generation.
He
you
is.
could do the one. You could do the
Like-
loner. Don't listen to them. This is an enjoyable film, but don't go into this
You know,
for
it
this
hasn't been-
generation.
I think
You understand how many years it takes to make a generation? There hasn't it hasn't been that long since the first film. It hasn't.
Lord.
Well, you know what? In movie age, it's like 9 years. That's more than enough.
And
Look, so
and
what
what's the name? The one with Tobey Maguire. He had friends in that.
Right.
He had like the other one. The middle ones had more emotional connection, connecting with the death, having the kids in school
Right.
talking about the death, and that's what I liked in those stories. But he had basically the friends here, but they didn't have the math team thing like what normal kids go through.
So with this film here, The Vulture was excellent. I went into the film thinking The Vulture was going to be crap. It was going to be Michael Keaton again. I said, I really don't want to see this guy. He totally had me hooked. I believed he was the Vulture. He did a great job of getting his team together. This was the man. I mean,
Well, okay, sorry. I've got one point.
make the point. Make the point.
What about the aspect of taking the elements of the Avengers and now it becomes a problem? That everyone's got all these villains. The Shocker, they have
All
the
these
Shocker
texts.
there. Basically, you know, from the Avengers, everyone gets supervillain. Oh, they become a whole network of supervillains. With this, that part, I wasn't too sure when I was
I
watching
actually
it.
like the fact
Well,
you know,
that,
the
that
fact
helps them
he-
out
that he-
because
that
then
he-
they can't do it. Look, in Marvel, these guys just pop up. You don't need an explanation. This guy comes over here. The next thing you know, he's a supervillain. That's the end of it. He's robbing banks. But that's part of the majesty and the fantasy of the world of comic books. They can't do that in film. Everything needs to have a damn explanation. And so there we go. Oh, how are they doing this? Oh, it all came from the Chitauri.
But it's not a bad explanation.
that's
you know,
what I'm saying, I
But it's not a
can't-
bad explanation. You know, I mean, all of a sudden, how do these guys get super tech that can fight against heroes and stuff like that? And the Chitauri makes perfect sense, you know. And I know you may dislike it, but I also like the fact that these guys lose their salvage job. He loses his
If it
business
makes sense for them,
because-
then Iron Man should have optioned some of that Chitauri tech too and like souped up his suit. He
But
didn't
he
do
did,
that.
but we don't know.
He
for
created
sure.
it on his
He's
own.
a brilliant, but I'm just saying he has it here. Now, the average guy can get this Chitauri tech, work it, and do something else with
Oh, wait
it.
a second.
Yeah, like
Now-
Amazon.com for the villains,
Well,
right?
hey, you know what I'm trying to say? That's what they were doing. Wasn't the tech guy? He was a salvager. Yeah, that's why he was a little brilliant. And he got everything
Well,
together.
I mean,
It waters down. It really waters down. Okay, a lot of the creativity that you can extract from the Marvel universe when you have to make everything regimented into how it's portrayed. I like the Vulture, but in the same thing, they run away from all the comic book elements. They don't want to do anything that would look close to an outfit like you would see in a comic book. No, there are certain things that they just definitely run away from. We can't do those particular things. Everything is military. It looks like something from the military. Okay, we have to explain this with some sort of alien tech. Mind you, the heroes seem to be okay. You know, Captain America has super soldier serum that was made by regular people. No, not even the military. Erskine is just a scientist.
Erskine's,
Okay,
yeah.
regular people. Everybody else, oh no, we had to get some Chitauri tech over here. Or we got something from a gemstone over here. There's all these extra explanations. And mind you, most of the people coming in don't need the explanation if the story is solid enough. But they have this 1966 fear or something of that nature when it comes to comics. Like, no, we need to explain this and somehow really root it, in the real world. It's fiction, number one. Are the people walking? Is there gravity? It's rooted in the real world. Now just go and tell your story. That's really where they
I kind
don't
of
do
disagree
that.
with you. I think that it helps with the explanation. A lot of people want to have the explanation of how these things occur, and I don't think it's a problem.
Who? Do you need it?
I'm saying,
Do you need it?
people clearly
Yes
want it.
or no? Do you
Yes.
need it?
Honestly.
Yes, I need it.
No, you don't.
Okay.
All right, I would say that.
before you go.
I would say that it works for the Vulture because he's a scavenger.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
then when you go to the Shocker and possibly the Tinkerer,
Right.
If that guy who's in there is supposed to be the Tinkerer, then it's sort of all the stuff the Tinkerer did. I mean, no, he didn't do that much.
I would have never thought that was the Tinkerer.
You
I would have
did?
never thought that was the Tinkerer. I'm like, that's
thinking-
who? And then Bokeem Woodbine, the Shocker, like, get out of here.
Well,
Whatever.
he's the second shocker. The first one got
No,
killed.
he's a
Look, but I also
he
like
he
the
didn't
fact-
have the gauntlets on both arms.
No, I know. But look, the thing I also liked was that Iron Man's company, what was it called? Damage Control came over and
it
kicked
was
them
too
out.
serious.
Yeah, but I'm
Damage
just trying to
Control
say
was a
it-
joke, and
Yeah.
this was like they brought Tyne Daly in there,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I'm not doing. I'm here. I'm collecting a good paycheck, but I'm totally serious."
I
But
thought it
no,
was- I
let's
thought
go.
it was
Let's
fun.
go to let's
Damage
go one
Control
of
was a 4-issue limited series that was supposed to answer that geek question. Hey, How does everything come back together, and who fixes everything? And that's what Damage Control did. Literally, it was funny too, because they had one page where in 4 panels they repaired somebody's bar. Like literally in 4 panels, it was repaired by Damage Control. But it works in the comic book world, doesn't necessarily work in the real world. And then you have to do all the other stuff, the corruption. Okay, then you have to do with the buyouts and this and everything of that nature.
Right,
that
but in
goes
this
with
story, in this movie, I thought it worked. I mean, it's a question that some of the viewers would have said, "Hey, what happens to all this tech?" In comic book
Nobody's
world,
asking that.
I think they do.
Who?
I think
Nobody's asking
I
it.
think that it helps to explain what's going on.
Let's move on to the freaking Iron Man being the father figure. I am glad at the end he didn't take that. I was like, this movie's going to be totally over if he takes that weird-looking Spider-Man suit.
We knew he wouldn't do it.
I was hoping. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought
He took his what? The what?
That weird suit that they had that he was going to showcase.
That was horrible.
I was like,
that
what
was
kind of?
absolutely.
But having that, then someone's going to say, well, when he's going to put that suit on? All of the straights are going to be like, hey, you got that other suit. Isn't going to put that suit on? No. It's not a good suit. This is close. This is okay suit. It's a little too much, too ornate, but all the spider part looks like, the General Romita Spider-Man. So it's solid. Don't do anything extra. I was hurting. Like, please don't put him in that weird Iron Spidey suit.
So, Cal, what do you think about the new suit he has? The new tech, what do we call it? Spider tech
God.
suit?
Are you kidding me?
And they
It's too
had-
much.
And they had it with
It's too much. You don't need all that stuff. And he
And
proved
having
it.
the character.
And
having
then
the
they
character
proved,
talk to him all
they
the time.
proved that he didn't need all that stuff, because when they took away the suit and he was in that little thing that
Yes.
looks like he made up, he was fine.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need all of that extra stuff. Having Siri in your suit, okay, it makes for some good comedy relief.
No
But aside
Siri.
of that, it's not necessary. And you take away that aspect from Spider-Man where he's supposed to be a regular guy. He doesn't have money for all of this other type of stuff. So once you give him that, it's like, okay, I got a direct pipeline to this guy who's like, what, a trillionaire? And I can just keep the money flowing in and so on and so forth. The dynamic between him and Tony Stark was good. I like the fact where...
No,
because
I don't want a father figure in there. I'm sorry.
No, goes back to Joseph Campbell's mythology, where it says, what does every guy need? They said every guy has 2 fathers. You have your father, and then you also have this surrogate father who pretty much reinforces everything that your father already said. So
And
Peter
you know
Parker...
who that is, right?
So Peter Parker...
Robbie Robinson. That's his surrogate father, not Tony Stark.
Not in the film. So...
That hurts
The only
right
reason why it
here.
works, the only reason why it works out is because it plays pretty much the way that he does the stuff that teenagers do. Look, you got out, you did this big thing. It's like, okay, what's the next big thing gonna happen? Just be patient. You know he can't be patient. Then he comes over and he looks up on some stuff. He's like, hey, look, this. I think the other guy's telling him, look, just be patient. He's taking care of it. He's not giving this kid the attention that he needs. Kids go over, screws up the whole thing. He's like, look, I got to take away the suit. But I was just like, I told you should have listened. You didn't listen. So there's this balance to it where, look, you didn't pay this kid any attention, but in the same point, you did screw up. So I got to take back the suit and so on and so forth. So all of that worked. All of that worked for me because that's pretty much, that is the teenager route, okay? What is the kiss of death in a high school classroom? What's the kiss of death? Telling a kid, hey, you're doing a good job. That's it. They're done. They're done for the rest of the term.
I totally agree with that.
I was a teenager.
No,
I
I
remember
know.
you did a good
I
job.
would shut down.
It's like,
immediately.
oh, that's it? That's okay, it's good. I don't
Oh
need to
my
do any more
Not
work.
me, ladies and gentlemen.
I would
gotta
be,
keep-
I would be
these
upset
two-
about people not saying I was doing good, and then once they said I was doing good, then it was like complete
Yeah, that's it.
shutdown.
Like
also.
homework, I don't need to do
Either
it.
way.
It's like, no, that's why they said, no, don't smile. Like, no, you're supposed to keep these guys working until the end because we all know they're not going to work until the end anyway. But that dynamic that he had right over there with Tony Stark was one that I really liked because it's like Stark is doing it even though he doesn't really want to. When he's reaching over, and he's like, it's almost like a hug. He's like, no, I'm trying to get you out of the car. Get out. Along those lines. So those things I thought worked. The dynamic between the two of them, and they might as well. Because these guys we're gonna see them later. We also understand that one of the reasons why they're doing it is because he's supposed to be a teenager and they don't want him like, hey, he's just running out doing his own thing. Because again, then they're afraid of, are we promoting that we're going to send kids out here to do all this other type of stuff?
Yes, let's do it like the X-Men.
Yeah,
they
it's
were
one of the
18 to 16.
They were 8? No, forget them. Robin.
Yeah, Robin 13 and
younger.
He was like, what was he like?
And
12?
younger than who? Younger than Robin? Superboy, 8 years old.
Oh,
But
Super Baby.
Yeah.
Come on, Super Baby.
But they
Okay,
decided
me
all of
and
that. They
we-
decided we can't do all of that.
We
We
digress,
can't do all.
John.
Me and Super
No.
Baby.
You digress. I'm
digress.
making a point over here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the reasons why we have that connection between Tony Stark and Peter Parker in the film, and of course the time more directly into the Marvel Universe. But it did work. It was good.
I disagree. But hey, in the end run, we liked the movie, right?
It was okay. It's a fun movie. You should enjoy it.
That's a yes.
And but
That's a
it's
begrudging
not-
yes.
So it's a
if
clear
they could
sweep.
have
All
done-
three of us
they
liked
could
it.
have done
Go check the movie out.
Stanley Ditko, Romita, Spider-Man 2. That's all I have to say.
Never gonna
Which was
happen.
so- Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for showing up for Spinner Rack. We liked it. Go check out the film.
Crunchy
Later.
Jeff.